Welcome, dear friend. Today, we journey together into the soulful words of Rumi, where the air hums with mystery, hope, and tender reverence. Let yourself be carried gently through a landscape both vast and intimate, where the heart wanders and finds grace. Imagine a lone traveler emerging from the endless desert, a figure wrapped in the vastness of distant sands, carrying stories not just of place but of the soul's deep yearning. He arrives now at the grand gate of the Caliph's domain. This crossing feels both serene and profound, where raw spirit meets regal presence. Nobles step forward, their movements graceful, honoring and curious, as if the air itself softens to welcome someone precious. Soft kindness rains down like fragrant roses upon his humble cloak, an unspoken grace that transforms the ordinary into something touched by heaven. This stranger's need is understood before a word is spoken, a silent empathy so rare, it feels like a delicate thread weaving hearts together in quiet understanding. Generosity flows freely here, gifts given even before they are asked for, like a river nourishing thirsty earth without hesitation. And then, with warmth and respect, they call him, "Oh, face among Arabs," a sacred recognition that sees beyond the surface, honoring the dignity that radiates from within. They gently ask about his journey, the hardships he endured, inviting him to share his story with gentle care. He replies with a humble plea, if favor is granted, how can trust be placed without it? There's a softness, a vulnerability, wrapped in hope and quiet courage. Yet beneath it lies a tender melancholy, the ache of feeling unseen, of needing recognition to be truly held. His face is praised, bearing the mark of mastery and excellence, a presence more radiant than the finest gold, scented with an essence precious beyond treasure. A single glance from him is said to be worth 1,000 meetings, a magnetic, longing glance that stirs the heart. His offerings to faith are counted like precious coins, gifts deeply sacred, while his eyes glow with divine light, beholding the world through the grace bestowed by God. Those who come from the king's side, drawn by generosity, cast their magical, transformative gazes upon fragile human heads, like alchemists seeking to transmute copper to gold. The human condition stands vulnerable, awaiting that spark of divine change. This stranger, declaring his solitude, has come from the desert's embrace, carrying the honor and pain of being an outsider searching for belonging. Yet he arrives fueled by hope, a delicate flame kindled by the Sultan's merciful grace. Kindness spreads like fragrance across barren deserts, touching even the smallest grains of sand and awakening life in the most humble corners of existence. Such a journey is propelled by desire, simple in appearance, a single dinar's worth, but vast and poignant in its reach. Upon arrival, he comes intoxicated by the sight he longed for, swept up in the ecstasy and wonder that only true longing can bring. Life's simplest needs guide him forward. A loaf of bread calls him to the baker, and upon meeting that kind soul, he surrenders, offering his spirit in quiet trust. Rest comes as he is embraced by the blooming garden, finding sanctuary in beauty. The gardener's own gentle kindness becomes his solace, a reminder that grace can nurture even the weariest heart. Endurance shines through the image of one who thirsts desperately, longing for water that sustains not just the body but the spirit. And then the living water itself appears, radiant and divine, like the illuminating face of Joseph, a symbol of eternal beauty and spiritual refreshment. We glimpse the flame Moses carries, powerful and transforming, a fire of destiny and revelation, burning bright beyond all earthly flames. Yet this sacred fire meets the urgency of struggle, as Jesus leaps to escape those who pursue him, a fierce soul striving for freedom in the face of oppression. This longing lifts him beyond worldly pain, carried into the embrace of the fourth heaven, a flight of hope and transcendence. From human frailty emerges harvest, as the snares of Adam turn into golden clusters of wheat, growth born from struggle, unity forged through life's trials. Together, people gather like grain, forming a richer whole from the ripened essence of being. And though sometimes we return to the nets of existence for sustenance, there is a quiet purpose in the cycle, a gentle acceptance of life's rhythms. Fortune and glory come within reach, grasped firmly like the Sultan's guiding arm, a moment of grace that alters fate. The innocent child begins as a student, eager to learn the art of mastery, uplifted by the hope and protection of a father's gentle grace. From humble beginnings grow leaders. One rises to assume wisdom and strength, shining steadily like the full moon, their light gifted steadily and generously. But shadows also gather, as hostility arrives in the form of Abbas Harb, driven by hatred, seeking to crush the sacred and wage relentless war against faith itself. The world feels turned inside out, faith challenged and worn by endless conflict, a heavy and somber reality stretching through generations. Yet, in the midst of this, a simple longing remains, a seeker standing at the door, hungry for something more. From outsider to honored vizier, the transformation unfolds, softened by humble gifts like bringing water for bread, sacred exchanges woven into the fabric of life. The scent of that bread itself rises, touching the highest heavens, where even the smallest acts gain divine significance. Bread, paradoxically, both drove man from paradise, and yet holds paradise within its essence, a reminder that survival weaves exile and grace in one. From these simplest elements, water and bread, life blossoms with a kingly majesty, rising into nobility from humble roots. Moving selflessly through the threshold like the ever-turning sky, there is a cosmic surrender, a quiet dance of meaning beneath seeming aimlessness. Love, beyond flesh and spirit, binds the lovers' souls, a mysterious alchemy that promises endless connection, transcending all boundaries. Let these words settle gently within you, a dream woven from longing, grace, struggle, and hope. Stay with this quiet light, and when you are ready, return again to wander these soulful verses together.